Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage, and today we're going to be looking at Ethereum. We're going to discuss a couple of moves in here, looking for these bigger possibilities of this upside, and looking towards this 2092 range as a 1.618. So potentially we could be looking to set up a bigger structure here, where this becomes 1-2, 1-2, and now we're starting to progress up in a bigger third wave towards this zone of this 2092 area. Would be a typical area we'd be looking for. However, in the grand scheme of things, our impulsive target for this as a 1-2 is much higher up here at this 2,465 range. So just need to be careful with this. If we do get a move up into this 1-to-1, just need to be careful we don't just have, some kind of other structure here as an A, B, and a C, though this C wave is quite sideways in comparison to this, so I wouldn't really be looking at it like that. But nevertheless, we need to be aware that a move up to 2,095 could signal a three-way move to the upside, and then we could actually look for breakdown. But for the most part, still looking for this possibility. Ever since we found support in the zone of the 1722 to the 1657, we've continued to hold these highs, hold these lows, and then continue to push up. So we were talking about this yesterday within the video. There were some things we talked about which are now invalidated. I just want to go over them so that we can discuss them. So we're looking for that possibility that we were setting up a flat as a wave 2 here. We came above the high point here, so this is no longer valid. Basically the WXY that we're looking at over here, we also came up and took that high, and we've moved too high now for this to be valid, so I'm going to remove that. Also, this we're looking for that potential breakdown, but we said, as soon as we lose this high, it becomes less likely, so we're going to get rid of that one as well. And we were talking about a couple of things here. We're looking for 1-2 that broke down. Um, Flat is still valid, so we need to discuss that. And this breakout is still valid as well. So we were talking about this possibility yesterday, where we were looking at this potentially as an A, B, and a C, as a flat correction. And then we were talking about that potential that this could be a 1-2 here, and then looking for that progression to the upside. So that actually did play out, and it's done pretty much what we were talking about. We're saying when we have a move like this as a five-wave structure, and we have a flat correction as a wave 2, or even a B wave, typically speaking, you're going to get a nice strong reaction to the upside here. So we were talking about this 1618 area as a potential target. We've actually blasted straight through that. So potentially we could actually still be extending our chair within this as a wave 3. Typically, I'd be looking towards this 2618 as a target area if we've got a flat correction in a wave 2. So we have actually come past this 1618 here, and then potentially up to this we haven't quite reached this 2618, but it is possible this wave 3 is still in play. So what I want to see here, if this is the case, if we do have a little bit more upside here, where this is another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, basically the target zone I'd be looking for would be somewhere in this zone of this 1938 to this 1930. However, if we have completed here, what I would be looking for would be a fourth wave move here. I'm going to actually remove some of this. So I'm going to just leave this. I'm going to just move this over to the side here and just plonk it over there. So that would be our target area if we do have an additional fourth and a fifth here, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then that could look to actually complete this third wave. So the key thing is here, we're going to be looking for a structure that is similar in size to this one down here. We'd be looking for a zigzag typically here. If we have got a flat correction in a wave 2, I'd be looking for that potential of a more simple wave 4. So if we did have to move up to the 618 area, basically what I'd be looking for here is that potential to find support in a fourth wave. So that fourth wave would be looking for this zone here again of this 1893 to this 1849 area. So this is something that you're going to have to keep an eye on here. If we do move up here one more time towards this zone of this 1938 to 1930 region, potentially we could actually see this third wave complete, then see a bigger fourth wave down into these zones, and then look for that fifth wave to the upside. If we did see a fourth and fifth play out like this, basically what we'd be looking for would be a move up potentially towards this zone up here, of this 1970 to this 1946. Obviously, we need to be cautious of extension within this structure because if this is becoming a bigger 1-2 and we're looking for that bigger third wave here, basically what we want to do is move up towards these higher targets. I'm going to remove some of these additional counts. Be looking for this target here of this 2042 typically as a third wave here. So, what we need to just be aware of is we want to see a bit more of a substantial move. It is going the right direction now, and potentially, like I said, we could still be in that third wave here, and it could still look to extend out a little bit more. That 2618 sitting at that 1934. So I would be keeping an eye on that area. It also has a little bit of confluence with this typical zone that we would look for here of this 1937 to this 1929. But if we do look to progress even higher, basically I'd be keeping an eye out on this 1618 area here of this 2042. If we do get a direct push up here and this move extends, what I'd be looking for off the back of this is a three-wave move down, basically looking to test this zone here of this. Let me just throw this onto this high here, chuck a fourth wave on it, back into this zone of this 1972 to this 1897 area, and that would then be looking for that possibility of having this as an additional fourth wave in here, and then having this as a fifth wave to the upside. Once again, if this is the case, what we would have had is quite a complex wave two here. So we'd want to see a pretty simple fourth wave play out here, possibly as a zigzag, or of the zigzag family, and then basically see this fifth wave to the upside. And that cutoff zone really for looking at this, if we do push up into these zones, would be this 1897. Losing that 1897 would basically, invalidate that. It would make it less likely anyway that we got an additional fourth and fifth, and rather, we'd have to start looking at other possibilities at that point. Okay, so I just want to discuss that flat because this is something we need to be cautious of. Just done something I wasn't supposed to. Let's fix that. There we go. I'm going to just turn all of this off for a second. Let's get rid of that and let's throw on the flat. So what we were talking about initially was that this could be an A. We're looking for a flat and a B wave, and then looking for that C wave to the downside. So this is no longer valid, really. It's gotten too big. So what I'm rather looking for here, I'm just going to remove some of this, is the potential that rather instead of looking at this as the A wave, we actually had the A wave into this low, and we did discuss this potential. And basically, what I'm looking for here now is the fact that we could see. So we've actually come up higher than this 1382. So I'm going to just turn the 1.618 on here as another potential zone for a rejection. So the idea of that five-wave move remains the same here, but what I'm looking for here is rather that within this structure here, we could see something like this play out. So if we actually get a much harsher rejection from this zone and we start to break down, something like this. So if we say we move up a little bit more here, potentially to this 1944 area, and we start to break down in a bigger five-wave structure, this would tie into the idea of this being a bigger flat correction here. So if this is the case, what we'd be looking for potentially as a target zone, the thing is this B wave would be quite high. They don't typically come this high as the 1618. Normally it's only the 1382, but potentially we can allow it still. It does happen sometimes. And then basically what we'd be looking for is that potential to move back down towards this zone here as a C wave. So let me just change this because I want the other one. Uh, there we go. So this just gives us some additional target zones here of where we could look for a five-wave move to come into. So the one-to-one of the A would be the 1780. That would be a running flat. If we saw a smaller five-wave move into this zone, retesting these areas, and then we take this high again, basically that would be confirmation. It's very hard to sort of diagnose those or identify those in real time. We'd have to just be careful. But really, I'd be looking for that potential to actually come back down here into this lower range of the 1744 to the 1686 if this is a flat correction and we do look to reject. There is always the potential. There are other ways of working this target out, and basically that would be looking at this move in this manner here and throwing on the regular one. This this zone here of this 1597. So this is another sort of area that we could look at it, and this is a 0.618 off of this wave A here. So 1597, that would actually tie in with coming back into that deeper retracement box as a wave 2. And basically what we'd be looking for is, if I just turn those supports back on, you can see this would actually bring us down here towards this 50%. It would also bring us back into some of these key areas to retest and potentially get rid of some of those gaps that we have built up below us here. So yeah, I mean, this is something we'll have to keep an eye on. At the moment, we just have a three-wave move up here, so this could actually still break down. So we just need to be a little bit cautious. You could be getting something like a diagonal here, maybe. That's also a possibility. Where we treat this as a fourth. This is 1, 2. The problem is I don't really like the structure of this. Looking at it as a diagonal because of the fact that it's a flat correction. So it's not really my favorite interpretation of it. But if we start to see something like this play out, where this is one, we'd have to say one into there. This is two. Get another three-wave move up here for three. Get a fourth wave and a fifth wave, something like this, and we have a contracting diagonal to the upside. This could tie into this actually being either an A, B, and C, or this being 1, 2, 3, 4, and this whole move is actually a diagonal. Diagonals take a long time to play out, and they often get quite tricky. So, we just need to be aware of that. We'd have to see exactly how it plays out, though. There's no confirmation of it. But basically, it is still a possibility. But the most immediate thing I'd be looking out for is whether we complete this move to the upside. So the key zone here that I'm looking at as a flat correction, if I just throw this onto the low here, to change this up. So we've actually already come up to 1 to 1 if we're looking at this as a 1 or an A, B, and a C. So this is where we need to be cautious here. If this is completed with the structure is telling us that we could have an additional push up here, and I just want to throw on it's 1, 2, 3, 6. Yeah, so this 1950 area, that could be an interesting zone. Obviously, if we do get that additional fourth and fifth here and we complete that five-wave structure, we need to see what happens afterwards. If we form a three-wave move down, find support, and then look to continue to push up, that's fine. But if we start to break down and we actually lose this low of this 1764, it would be more likely that we seeing this C wave play out. So we're gonna have to just be careful here. If we get a five-wave move down, it doesn't necessarily mean that this move is an A wave. It could be the C wave here, and then we could look for progression to the upside from that point. So we're gonna have to just keep an eye on these internals as this develops. But basically that's the idea of the flat here. Potentially we could see this move develop in such a way that this is a bigger flat correction here. So we need to just keep an eye on that. Until proven otherwise, though, I will still be looking for this continuation here and looking for that possibility of finding support and looking to push up. Potentially, we could look for the support to come in here towards this 1869 area would be an interesting one. 50% would be down here at this 1849. Depending on exactly how high we come here, you know, if we've completed already, this 1863 will be a zone I'll be looking for where this could become ABC to the downside, and then we get an additional fourth and a fifth. We start to lose this 1844, it becomes less likely. Invalidation comes by crossing 1822. If we do move down deeper here, and potentially this is a completed move, I don't really, yeah, I mean, internally it doesn't really count like it's completed, but basically what we'd be looking for is, support to come back into this lower range. It's 1842 to the 1796. I do think that we've still got a little bit more to this move. It would be neater if we have a move up into this 1937 area to complete this wave 3, and then we have this wave 4 play out. But if this is playing out directly from here, potentially this is going to be the zone we're looking for that support to come in. We don't want to lose 1796 rather, and we don't want to lose 1762. If we start to break down below these key levels, basically, this is indicating to me that this whole move is just a bigger corrective structure here. And potentially we're going to be looking for that C wave low and possibly even coming back into retesting this zone here, this 1643 to this 1587 area. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, we have affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT in the description. Check them out. They're both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.